In today's video, I'll be ranking the operators in Delta Force for the Warfare mode. Considering I don't really play Operations all that much, I didn't really want to adventure into ranking them for that specific mode, so we're sticking with Warfare. Now, as a disclaimer, this is my own personal tier list. It might not reflect what your opinions are on the operators and how you would rank them, but I will leave a link in the description down below to the template if you want to go and make your own tier list just for fun, and you can also share it with me in the comments as well. I'd be curious to see your thoughts on how the operators stack up against each other. So we're going to start off with D-Wolf, then go down the line as they appear in the operator selection screen when you're in game. So for D-Wolf, obviously he's very good at movement and he has access to probably or arguably some of the better assault rifles in the game. He does crouch slide as well. His throwable is just a smoke grenade, which is fine, I guess. And then he has the triple blaster, which can do some decent damage. But overall, I think as a whole, you can be really aggressive with him, but I would probably put him at B tier. I do prefer playing Viren over D-Wolf. I think he is just more fun to play and has arguably better movement overall. So I think I'll put D-Wolf at B tier for now. For Viren, so he has obviously the jump pack boost, which is really nice. Reduced fall damage, or he can fall from higher without actually getting damaged. He's got those magnetic bombs. And then he also has the crouching tiger, which is really nice when you're trying to push angles and you want to get people off of, doorways that they're holding or whatever it may be. I would honestly put Viren at A tier. I think he is a better operator overall. I would put him in S tier, but the magnetic bombs being timer based, I don't really like. I'd rather you be able to actually throw the bomb and then use a detonator to actually detonate the magnetic bomb, such as you would with like a C4 pack or something like that. And what's nice with Viren is every time you get a kill, it resets his jump pack ability, so you can boost back or side to side or however you feel to get out of the fray, which makes him super good to get picks and get good poke damage or get a couple of kills and back off, then go back. And I've had the most fun playing Viren as a whole, probably throughout most of the operators that are available in Delta Force. Obviously he has the same weapon selection as D-Wolf, but yeah, I think A tier is fitting for Viren, at least for me. For Stinger, so I'm gonna rate him. I think I would have to also put him in A tier. So he is like the de facto healer. He has just a healing ability straight out of the gate, which makes him very useful for team fights. He has 2 smoke abilities, albeit it might be a little much to have 2 smoke abilities. There's already a lot of smoke in Delta Force. You don't really need to have 2 smokes. I would rather him have something else than just 2 smoke abilities, but it does make him very useful to get pushes, cover angles with the smoke screen that he can deploy, and obviously that med pen being able to heal people at range is awesome, and you get those quicker revives, and you can also heal yourself, so survivability wise, he is just absolutely insane, and very useful in a team, because then you get fast heals and you can get healed at range with Stinger. So I think he is a very, very strong operator overall. Maybe a few tweaks, yeah, maybe have something else than two smoke abilities I think would do very well for Stinger. For Toxic, so I have recently started playing Toxic more, and that boost, that Adreno boost that you can give yourself and all the teammates around you is absolutely insane. Now I think she's a little bit better when you're playing kind of solo and you don't really have like friends online. As a solo player, very, very strong, because you can just pop that Adreno boost at any given time and get that really fast ADS speed and just melt people. So I was using K416 with her quite a bit, and then when I knew I was going to engage enemies, I would pop the Adreno boost, and that ADS speed is just insane when you have that active, especially with a weapon that already has good handling. You can just ADS and melt people in like half a second. It's absolutely insane. Obviously her ult, which are those little dragonflies that attach to people and reduce their overall health or their maximum health, is really good too. But I think Stinger is probably more useful overall. You can still get really good points with Toxic, especially when you're playing in attack and defend. Popping that Adreno boost, anybody that gets kills while it's active gives you XP, which is very, very good. But I think that overall Stinger is probably a better operator, so I would put her at B tier. You know what? I prefer playing Toxic over D-Wolf, so I think I would put D-Wolf at C tier. I just think Toxic is just a lot more fun to play. And yeah, that Adreno boost buff is so good, especially when you're playing by yourself and you can just push corners and stuff. So we're going to move on to Shepard here. So Shepard, obviously very good at holding angles because of the traps that he has, and then the sonic paralysis ability. He also takes reduced explosive damage, if I remember correctly. And he can be really good in certain maps like Shafted or Knife's Edge. He is fun to play, but he's not useful in every single scenario, especially in maps with vehicles. Uluru's just flat out better for that. And Uluru is also very good in like close quarter maps because he has those walls and the incendiary grenade, which is really good. I think I would put Shepard at B tier. He has that grenade, which is also very good to get people out, which you can cook the grenade, which is nice. But I think I would put Shepard at B tier. I do enjoy playing him, but there's just better options out there for overall use. Uluru, I think Uluru is probably... I think I would put him in S tier. The reason being, he is so good at taking down vehicles. It is absolutely insane. So you have obviously the option of using the AT4 rockets, and then you also have the loitering munition, which can be very effective at taking down vehicles when they're on their last legs and are trying to get away, trying to get behind cover. You can just pop that loitering munition and then guide it to the vehicle to then take them down. You can also freehand it as a secondary rocket, so when you're shooting an AT4 at a vehicle, you pop your AT4, then if it's almost dead and you're really close to it, you can just take out your loitering munition, freehand it, and it'll go straight into the vehicle and then kill them as well. It's very good at getting people out of cover, the loitering munition that is. Same thing for the incendiary, and you also have that mobile cover which you can just build anywhere, which makes him very strong. And there is nothing quite as satisfying as killing a helicopter with a loitering munition from Uluru. It is just like peak gameplay, in my opinion. That is so much fun to do. Chasing a helicopter with your loitering munition and then taking him down is so much fun. And he also serves obviously as a repairman, as do all the other engineers on the list. But yeah, overall, Uluru is my go-to pick when we're playing in maps that have vehicles. He's just like, he's a staple. I have to play him because if vehicles are being annoying, you can deal with them very effectively with Uluru. For Seneva, now, he is fun to play. I commend the devs for not just giving him a shield that can be taken out at any given time. You do have to use your ultimate ability, for lack of a better word, to actually be able to use a shield. And then when you have the shield out, you can't swap between the shield and your weapons. He's very good obviously in CQB maps because you can get that cover in front of you and have teammates behind you taking poke damage at the enemies. You can grapple hook enemies into you. You can shield bash them. The shield bash also got a buff recently, but as a whole, in like most other maps or a lot of situations where you're fighting more than one enemy, or there's a lot of space around you that enemies can flank and kill you from behind, I think that's kind of where his ability set breaks down. The barbed wire is just, it's bad. It's just like, you can see it, you're never going to step in it other than if he throws it directly on you. You're not going to knowingly run into barbed wire. You can't throw it very far, so it's kind of meh. His grappling hook is honestly really only useful when you have the shield out, because if you're grappling an enemy and you don't have the shield out, you're probably going to die because you're going to get shot. So I think I would have to put him in D tier. He is really fun to play, but he is like super good in like only very specific scenarios and very specific maps. Otherwise, I would just opt for like Uluru or something of the sort, which is just honestly a much better pick in the engineer class if you're playing on the wider maps. And he's also very effective in closer range engagement maps too. For Luna, it's easy. She's S tier. So you have the spotting whenever you actually hit someone. You have the spotting arrow, which is just, it's insane how many people you can spot with that thing. It spots on the right when you fire it, and then if anybody moves, it'll spot them again. It'll spot them through smoke. You have the electric arrows or volt arrows. I don't actually remember the actual name of the ability, which you can cover angles that way. You can shoot it on a body if somebody's trying to get the revive off on an enemy you just downed, and you have 3 of them. Obviously, there is like a cooldown when you do fire off those arrows, but it is super good. You have the gadgets, so the spawn beacon is very, very helpful in like most of the maps or most of the scenarios. And then you have the grenades. So Luna is just like an S tier operator. There's no way around it. I'm surprised that they actually buffed her with the release of Starfall Season 2 or Season 3, whatever you want to call it. It's Chinese Season 3, our Season 2, but honestly, they should just do version parity and call it all Season 3, but I digress. Luna, S tier operator. There's no other way around it. Decent weapon selection, so you have marksman rifles, you have snipers, you have SMGs, and you also have ARs with like having access to the SG552, which is just a powerhouse, probably one of the better assault rifles in the game, honestly. So yeah, Luna is S tier. And then finally we have Hackclaw. So as a whole, fun to play. Luna's just flat out better. So Hackclaw, you have that little ability that, you know, puts lines as to where enemies are. Very good if you're going into somewhere blind and you have no information on where people are, or if there might be any operators around. So you can just pop your again, ultimate for lack of a better word, and it'll give you information at least if there's any operators around. The flashbang, it's honestly, it's all right. You can shoot it down pretty easily when you're getting actually on the receiving end of that flash. And it doesn't last very long. It does force you to put your hands up when you're being flashed, so it can give Hackclaw a good chance at actually downing you. And the data knife, it's fun to get kills with. It's not great. You get to people move so fast in this game. It's kind of hard to actually hit people with the data knife. So I think that as a whole, albeit I can have fun playing with her, I think Luna is just a flat out better operator. So I would probably put Hackclaw in C tier, honestly. She's better overall than Seneva, but I think she just like has these little things that makes her, in my opinion, a little underpowered as opposed to some of the other operators, especially Luna. Luna is such a powerhouse. That's why you see her in like every single game. There's multiple Lunas at any given point anywhere on the map, just because of how strong she is. So I think that's a pretty good tier list. So we have 2 in S, 2 in A, 2 in B, 2 in C, and we have Seneva in D tier. No operators made it in an F tier, which overall is, you know, a good indicator of, generally speaking, decent balance throughout the operators in Delta Force. I can't speak for operations. I don't play it at all. So if you play operations, please feel free to give your opinion in the comment section down below. I'd be really curious to see how the operators stack up against each other in that specific game mode, because it is very different. I can see Seneva being an absolute Chad powerhouse in operations, but unfortunately in Warfare there's so much stuff happening that yeah, he just falls a little bit short. So that'll do it for my operator tier list for the Warfare mode in Delta Force. Let me know what you think about it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, this is very subjective opinion on how I like to play the game, how I like to approach fights. So your opinion is more than likely going to vary from mine. Comment section down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.